Welcome to the Purpose Driven CEO podcast with Sean Copeland.
Hello, my name is Sean Copeland, and welcome to a new episode of the Purpose Driven CEO. Today, I'm going to share a concept with you called leading with love. And I'm going to just tell you right up front that a lot of this is based upon two books that I absolutely love. One book is called Multipliers, and one book is called Love Works. And Love Works is by Joel Manby, the former CEO of Hershon Family Entertainment. And I'll talk about him more as we go. Peter Drucker says that only three things happen naturally in organizations: friction, confusion, and underperformance. Everything else requires leadership. So as we begin this, I want you to think as a leader, I want you to think about your organization, okay? If things are not working right, it is because of a lack of leadership. It is really that simple. Bill Marriott of Marriott Hotels said, if you have flies in the kitchen, it's because you must like flies. You're the one that are allowing them to stay in the kitchen. And so what I'm going to share with you today is a concept of leadership that will allow us to transform our organizations, but do it in love. I want to read this quote to you, and it is by Clarence Francis. He was the chairman of General Foods, and it is just so impactful to me, and that's why I want to read it to you today. You can buy a man's time. You can buy a man's physical presence at a given place. You can even buy a measured number of skilled muscular motions per hour or day, but you cannot buy enthusiasm. You cannot buy initiative. You cannot buy loyalty. You cannot buy the devotion of hearts, minds, and souls. So as a leader, we have two options here. We can be a multiplier, or we can be a diminisher. Okay. Now, a multiplier is one who makes the people, he or she uses his or her abilities to make the people around them better. You make them stronger. You make them more confident. You help them achieve things that they never dreamed that they could achieve. A diminisher, as you can imagine, is just the opposite. It's a leader who drains the intelligence, energy, and capability from around them because they always believe they are the smartest person in the room. Now, I'm sure you have been around both of these, okay? I have had leaders and bosses that I would literally run through brick walls for, and I've had leaders and bosses that literally make me feel about 2 inches tall, like I was worthless, like I just couldn't do anything. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the difference between these two people and how we can become a multiplier by leading with love. Now, a multiplier, I want you to think in terms of them being a talent magnet, being someone that everybody wants to work for. They're a liberator. They unlock other people's potential. They're a challenger. They push you to make you better. They're a debate maker. All opinions count with them. They force debate among their people, and they're an investor. So they coach and grow the team. So the question is, how can we be a multiplier? And I think, believe it or not, the answer is in 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 through 7. And I want to read it to you, and I'm going to explain this. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want us to replace love with multiplier. A multiplier is patient and kind. A multiplier does not envy or boast. A multiplier is not arrogant or rude. He or she does not insist on its own way. He is not irritable or resentful. She does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. A multiplier bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. This is the gist of how to lead with love. What I want to share with you is that when there is a belief that great leaders have to be drivers. They have to be tough. They have to be very distant from their employees. They have to be scary. They have to have all the answers and be this genius. They have to use fear and intimidation to get what they want. And I believe with all my heart that this is false and that multipliers or truly great leaders lead with love. Multipliers are patient. Let's just run through it. They have self-control in difficult situations. They are patient when they admonish or critique. They do it in private. They don't embarrass others. They are patient when they praise. They wait for the right time. They don't just give generic praise. They give very specific praise. They give 3 praises for 1 criticism. One of our foundational core values at Regent Bank is show you care, and great leaders show that they care. We do this through birthday calls and emails, through handwritten Christmas cards, through lunches with our employees and giving them an opportunity to have their say and give their opinion. Multipliers are kind. They're not only patient, but they are kind. They show encouragement and enthusiasm. They help everyone to feel important. They take the time to be thoughtful, and their employees know how much they care about them. Multipliers are trustworthy. The number 1 skill, according to Stephen Covey, is trust. The number 1 leadership skill. If your employees don't trust you, they are not going to follow you. It doesn't matter what you say, it's going to land flat. Great leaders earn the confidence of others by not only keeping their confidence when needed, but also through being completely transparent, providing information, telling you the whole picture, always being very, very honest, listening well, not micromanaging, hiring trusting leaders and allowing them to do their jobs. Our number 2 core value at the bank is to always be truthful and transparent. Multipliers are selfless. Multipliers think of others more than they do themselves. They move from a selfish heart to a servant heart. They give of their time, treasure, and talent. They are a genius versus a genius they are a genius maker, versus a genius. It's okay to be a genius, but it's powerful to be a genius maker. And they are what is called a level 5 leader in the book Good to Great. I want to read this quote to you from Bono. It says, "It's been said that after meeting with the great British Prime Minister William Ewart Gladstone, you left feeling that he was the smartest person in the world. But after meeting with his rival, Benjamin Disraeli, you felt like you were the smartest." That is the difference between a multiplier and a diminisher. Multipliers are also principled, however. They stick to their values in all circumstances. Enduring companies are always about ideology. They are always about the why, much more than the what. They do things the right way and they get the right results. And at our organization, we focus very, very heavily on living within our core values. Hirsch and Family Entertainment is the company that oversees about 35 or 40 entertainment parks all over the country, including Silver Dollar City, Dollywood, and others. They were featured on a show called Undercover Boss, one of my favorites, 3 or 4 years ago. And on their episode, if you've ever watched Undercover Boss, normally the way that it goes is the CEO goes undercover, goes out into the field. They don't know how to do any jobs. They're terrible at every job that they do, and normally find out that the company is horrible. They're not doing any of the things that they thought they were doing at the corporate headquarters. The people are frustrated. They don't like working there. It's normally kind of a disaster. When Hirsch and Family Entertainment did it, however, much to the show's chagrin, they found employees that loved where they worked. They enjoyed what they did. They felt passionate about the causes behind the company. And all of a sudden, Hirsch and Family Entertainment got 50,000 resumes the day after the Undercover Boss show played. Why? Because people want to work somewhere where the leaders lead with love. People want to know that they matter. They want to know that they are cared for, that they are not just a cog in the wheel. So I believe that by going back to these verses in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, they're not just verses that are good for a wedding, which is typically where we see them. They are verses that are great for leaders as well. Thank you so much for joining us today on The Purpose Driven CEO, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.